So building wealth. True or false? Everyone should try to max out their 401k or TSP or SEP IRA, whatever you have. True. True. Any other guesses? False. All right, so I'm gonna go with false. Most people think that you should. I don't disagree with the employer match, but we'll kind of preface that. Um, you shouldn't necessarily try to max out your 401k plan. Whenever you think about allocating dollars towards accounts, you should really ask yourself, what is the purpose of my money, right? Like, what am I trying to do? What are my goals? How much money do I have to be allocated? So, Laura, if we want to go to the next slide, please. And then we can just start, you can just start clicking down. So we talked about emergency savings. We talked about brokerage accounts. So again, cash value life insurance, all of those provide liquidity. So you're better off even, and let me take a step back. When I say maxing out, I mean like contributing to the maximum amount in your plan. So like 23,000 per year. Everybody reads online. Everyone hears it at the water coolers. You hear it in forums or on TikTok, right? That you should be maxing out your retirement plan. That's not true for everybody, again, because it comes down to what it is that you're looking to accomplish. Some people, for example, want to purchase a house or they want to buy a second house. Maybe, again, they have aging parents they need to plan for. Maybe they want to plan for their kids' college. Maybe they have grandchildren that they want to give money to or fund their weddings. There's so many different things. Maybe we want to travel the world. There's so many different things that we could be planning for apart from just retirement that we need to make sure we're accounting for when we think about, okay, here are the dollars that I have, where do they need to go? So again, when we think about liquidity, we don't need a retirement account to retire, we just need money. So when we think about being able to take $1 and have it serve multiple purposes, putting it into a brokerage account, for example, could serve any of the goals that I just mentioned. Same thing with cash value life insurance. We can use that money for college. We can use that money for retirement. We can use that to buy a house. We can use that to buy a vacation property. We can go travel with it. We can do all of these things without having to incur interest rates from loans from the 401k, without having to incur being double taxed, without having to incur, tax penalties, all of that stuff. So we want to talk about what the purpose of the money is and then decide where to put that. Some people also, Laura, if you want to keep clicking, UTMA or UGMA accounts, those are like investing accounts for kids, the 529 college savings plans. There's some nice tax benefits for that. People might want to put money into real estate or even a business. If any of you own businesses or if you want to own a business, reinvesting into your business could also be a great place to put money. So let's go to the next slide. But we're not discounting retirement plans, right? So obviously we do want to add money to retirement. So Laura, if you want to click through these, there are pre-tax accounts or what we call traditional accounts. All employer plans will have a pre-tax option. Most people sort of default to the pre-tax option. So just to explain how it works, this applies towards IRAs, SEP IRAs, simple IRAs, 401ks, TSPs, all of these sort of operate the same way from a tax perspective. So you put the money in pre-tax before you pay taxes. All of the growth and earnings come in tax deferred. And then it comes out taxed in retirement at your normal tax bracket. So kind of like a paycheck. Roth is a little bit different. So Roth accounts are becoming more popular. More employers are starting to add it. Roth accounts are opposite. So you actually pay taxes today. You'll contribute into the account. All of the growth and earnings come out tax-free in retirement. So one account isn't necessarily better than the other. For people that are making, a living that they will likely continue to maintain and want to maintain that same lifestyle in retirement, a Roth right now is a great place to put money because tax rates are relatively low compared to where they've been historically. Doesn't feel like it because it always sucks to pay taxes, but historically we're in low tax brackets and we expect that they will likely go up as well as your income will naturally go up over time as you grow in your career, as inflation happens, as you adjust your lifestyle. if you're living way above your, or like if your income is way above what you're actually living off of, that's where a traditional account might be, the better option, because in retirement you might actually be spending less than you are today. Um, any questions on the differences there? And then we'll get into some considerations. All right, let's keep going. So considerations. I forgot who said it. Somebody said employer match. I'm not saying don't do your retirement plan. Definitely do your employer retirement plan, especially to the max, or to the match. So if somebody says, my employer matches 3% if I contribute 3%, definitely do that 3%. Or if you have to do 6% to get 3%, definitely do the 6%. You always want to do at least what the employer is matching, and then you can consider other places to put money above and beyond that. It's free money. You don't want to miss that. And then Roth IRA flexibility. So it doesn't mean, don't do retirement, but maybe above the employer match, you start to shift money towards a Roth IRA. Roth IRAs are still retirement vehicles. The caveats are that you have to be under certain income thresholds, and you can only do up to 7,000 per year or 8,000 if you're over 50. But what's nice about Roths is that you can actually take money out for first-time home purchase, for excessive medical expenses, for qualified education expenses. And fun fact, if you've had the account open for at least 5 years, you can take your contributions back out without issues. You can't really access the earnings without tax penalty until you're 59 and a half, but you can take your contributions back out. So it just adds a little bit more flexibility as you're still planning for retirement. And then I mentioned the income and contribution limitations. Roth employer plans, so Roth 401ks, though, do not have the income limitations. So you wouldn't have to worry about that. If you're looking to get money into Roth, if you make too much money to do a Roth IRA, there are things called Roth conversions or backdoor Roth contributions. I will not bore you with all of that today for the sake of time.